Good morning, class. Turn your books to page number 77. Today, we're going to learn about a very interesting experiment in psychology, which is the Pavlov's experiment. I strained to hear my teacher's words with music and slogans and trumpets playing on the road, but I give it a shot. So she explains how this experiment was about classical conditioning, which is the idea that certain behaviors can be learned or taught if given a repetitive stimulus. Now, this experiment was conducted in dogs, and of course, for the love of my pet dog Max, I had to pay absolute attention in class. So, here's how it goes. Pavlov, a neurologist, rang a bell each time he wanted to feed the dogs. And the dogs would salivate whenever they saw the red meat logs. But then slowly and slowly, day by day, with repetitive stimulus, a simple bell became so hard to resist that even without food, even without any meat logs, only with the sound of the bell, their saliva would automatically spill. What? How could that even possibly be true? All of that salivation for nothing in return? All of that salivation to starve to death to remain unheard? What a joke! I fail to believe in this. And wait, why did all the other dogs succumb to the same fate when they had already noticed all of this? Why did any dog not bark? Actually, why did no dog roar in the dark? My best friend, she comes to my rescue and she jolts me and she says, maybe each time Pavlov rang the bell, they thought things would be different this time. They thought this one time their promises would be met and it would not be a simple plain bell. Maybe this one time they would be given their promised fresh meat logs. Maybe they were too hopeful, or maybe they were too foolish to repeatedly trust in Pavlov and let him fool them over and over and over again. I think to myself, stupid little creatures, how inferior of them. And I believe that Max, my dog, would never be as stupid. So, well, we scrape off this conversation and the bell rings, and it's time for our history class. And our teacher, she reads out, millions of ordinary Germans were convinced that 6 million Jews needed to be killed. Needed. Curiously, I ask, ma'am, needed? And she emphasizes, yes, Hitler had associated Jews with a negative connotation. So each time an ordinary German saw a Jew, they were conditioned to hate them. Conditioned to hate them. Conditioned. My best friend and I, we go blank. We gawk at each other, we are out of words, and that rings a very powerful bell in our head. I can still hear the slogans and the trumpets and the music on the road, and I immediately realize how our party's promises meat logs, which is to say, policies and rights, safety, and a safeguarded future that appears so bright. And each year they play the bell of emotionally charged slogans about social causes, associate their party symbols with national ideologies and national pride. So each time we see this, we vote for them. At first sight, we salivate without the food ever being given to us. We vote at the mere sight of a concrete road in a banner that's never actually going to be built, because we have been convinced that an excellent rally corresponds to action. And a good demeanor is a bell that could never potentially mean inaction. So, of course, they spend more on the bells, the campaigns, and much lesser on the food, their promises. Oh, but then, just to keep you in the loop of being conditioned, on some days they will pretend to pass a bill. And they will hold a pretentious parliament session or two. Because they want to give you that slight bit of hope. Because when they give you that hope, you keep on salivating. And while you're salivating, it means that you're only starving, but you're not dead yet. And if you're not dead yet, it means that you can still thrive. And till the time you can thrive, their vote bank is alive, because their vote bank is breathing till you are breathing. Till you are alive. So, fair deal to give you a little right, a little policy, a little parliament session every once in a while, right? And you might ask then, what about those who don't consent to participate in this experiment? What about those who gently bark at the national security breach or the legislative overreach? What about those who speak against the unemployment rise or the farmers' cries? It is simple, my friend. They scrunch your voice by tying a leash around your throat. And anyway, what is the price tag of an individual who refuses to blindly vote? I mean, fair point, right? Why breed a voice that does not let ministers sleep? Why breed a voice that makes ministers think twice before they speak? And anyway, it is common knowledge. The murder of an informed citizen is not martyrdom, they say. They are not used to listening to your no in any way. I flip through the pages of my history textbook, and in it, I don't witness Hitler, I don't witness Pavlov either. What the world perceives as a history textbook, is it actually but a mirror that I see? Because from a salivating, voiceless, stupid dog, how different really are we? Oh, but wait, you would think you were too intelligent. You were too bright to be part of this political experiment. But my friend, when you see Dalits being choked to death, when you see women running out of their breaths, when you see women being called whores, do you ever actually care to question your political party, their campaigns, their promises, or you just continue to vote? Do you ever even consider to stop? Congratulations, my friend. Despite all our efforts, you and I, we've both been politically Pavloved. Thank you.